It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Movie Toast.
Hey, what is up? Toast to Adam and fellow toasties.
Woo! Episode 197, Dennis. Almost at the elusive 200. You ready for it?
No, I still can't believe it's been 200 also. Like, that's fucking nuts. In the span
4
of...
years.
Yes. Shit. No,
And
that's exact... man.
I was just thinking about it. We just hit our anniversary of knowing each other for like 16 years. So we're on like, or something crazy
Oh,
like that. So
fuck.
We're right on track. All
Oh
these
my
different
God.
fucking intervals of things. Whew,
Yeah. Goddamn. No, you're
Yeah.
right. That didn't even...
insane.
Oh, you reminded me of other dates that I should probably keep in mind. Damn it. Oh,
You know,
wow.
you got time to figure those out, I think.
I do. Shit. But no, that's incredible, man. And I'm so glad we're still going on the journey together and still
Yeah.
toasting all of these flicks for you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and we got some new and exciting things to share with you. I can't wait to get to the review portion, but I know you got a lot of stuff, a lot of ground to cover. Yeah,
We
fuck
do.
yeah. I'm excited. I'm
So I
excited.
guess let's jump into it. Let's hear what the scoop is this week, Dennis.
Oh, let's hear it.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
Let's join the loop. Join it.
All right, let's do it. We're in that loop now, baby. All right,
Yeah.
so up first, Redbox, Dennis. I was surprised. I was at a grocery store and I saw a Redbox and it was all shut off and a nice piece of paper over it saying that they're taking it away. So return your movies. And I'm like, what are you gonna do if I don't return my movies? And who was renting movies? Last time you guys put out a DVD or Blu-ray, I think it was Barbie or Oppenheimer a year ago.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, yeah. There's the two that are down the street from us. They still have one in front of the CVS and one in front of the Vons around the corner. That first off, the reek of urine. Anyways, they are so beat up and rough. But it's the same thing. The movie selection is like things that came out maybe last summer, or is like the most recent thing. And I'm like, yeah. And then you start getting weird shit back. Like I remember one time we found like $1 or something, and we found a candy wrapper in with another one because they don't like sort them out or anything. Like it was a good idea for a time.
I mean, they took down Blockbuster and whatnot. I mean, I guess they didn't take Blockbuster down. Netflix did, but they were definitely had a hand in it. But I guess over the last year, back in 2023, they lost about $636.6 million. And apparently the employees weren't getting paid. They weren't getting their all their stuff that they were due. It sounds like a whole big mess. And their owner of the company, Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment, had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So if you guys still have movies from Redbox, I don't know why you would have them, but I guess you probably keep them. Nobody's going to be able to hunt you down, probably.
No.
Oh boy.
Whoever buys up the last dregs of the Redbox empire.
Right. Not anybody I know. Oh man. I used to love Redbox, especially when they would put promo codes out, get some free rentals. But
now, like that when it first emerged, that it had a huge impact. It was a great alternative to still getting your hands on some new releases and stuff, like, or at least pretty semi recent. No, it served a wonderful purpose for a period of time. I just think that generation that refused to accept the new streaming revolution that was beginning, they're all in it now. Everyone's on board that train. No,
I feel like even older people, people 2 times our age are
easy
with the streamers.
Absolutely.
You can't avoid this
for
shit.
sure. For sure.
Oh boy, speaking of streamers, we got Kevin Costner's movie Horizon, an American Saga. It was supposed to be a 3-parter. Part 2 was supposed to come out, I want to say, in September. Then they pushed it back. It just recently had its premiere, and it's getting some pretty abysmal reviews. And
yeah, I heard some interesting numbers on that too. What he put up 38 million of his own money, and then in just traditional theatrical.
Oh no, I'm seeing
made 31 million.
I'm seeing 100 million here, but maybe that wasn't him. Maybe that was other people.
Oh, maybe,
no, yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, it only made 36. Yeah.
So it's like he didn't even make his kicking back yet. So, ouch.
And apparently, people have been watching it on Max, so it's been a hit. It's been in the number 1 spot, but I don't know if we're getting a third one, because after the screening of the second one, he said, if there's anything that you expect from part 2, you've realized that 2 is harder than 1. It's hard to go west. 3 is the same thing. It gets harder, but I will tell you this. Chapter 3 is devastating because you begin to know all these people. Life keeps coming at them, and you will see that. They're all written. I have to hurry now that the rock fell back downhill. I have to go put my hands on it and start to push it up. It's a rope that I can't let go of. I don't know how I'm going to make 3 right now, but I'm going to make it. I don't know. I don't see that happening.
Wow. Yeah, that's, first of all, there's a big vote of confidence in all the people you just worked with making your movie.
Yeah.
I still this movie, to be honest, always kind of struck me as like a fuck you back to Yellowstone in a sort of way. Yeah. And it's like, all right, dude, I guess, go carve out your own piece, but looks like people don't want a piece of that.
For people like you who love Yellowstone, they just announced that they're doing another season now, and it looks like he's out of the Horizon movie and Yellowstone, so kind of a tough time for Kevin Costner.
I had read a little scuttlebutt. Apparently, he'd asked to come back, and they're like, "No, the show is going its direction now. You don't get to come back." Well, he gets to close out a storyline how they've written it, and then it's going to change hands to another McConaughey, I want to say, was supposed to be joining the cast. Is what I heard last, but
I know someone is getting another spinoff. That like this Tyler Sheridan is going in a million.
Oh directions.
Yeah, I love it.
I could easily see.
I don't watch the show, but I respect what he's doing. Oh yeah, isn't Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford in the prequel 1923 or whatever?
Yes, that one I've only seen the first couple episodes of because it's only on Paramount. But I did see all of as 1883. That was fucking great.
Is that Sam Elliott?
Brutal. Yes, Sam Elliott and forget his name. Is this country singer that actually just did a killer job.
Okay,
and a handful of other fantastic cast members, and it's like that one. That one's rough, but for like because what it's portraying, it's intense. Because it's a similar thing. It's the initial settlers heading west that settle their eventual ranch, but
fair enough.
Not a fun journey getting there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
your
and that concludes Western Chalk. Just kidding.
Yeah. Now leaving Westerns, going into the world of medieval fantasy, Dennis. I don't know if you've heard, but Alison Brie is going to be Skeletor's second in command, Evelyn, in the Masters of the Universe film that is finally happening. I know there's been so many iterations. A lot of people were signed on for a lot of different productions of this, but this one seems like it's actually going to happen. And I don't know. I feel like we don't see Alison Brie do too much villain work, but when she was in Glow, I felt like she was fantastic as I was
just going to say
antagonist.
Yeah, when she was like the times she got to be a heel
protagonist.
I loved just watching her really sell it, just really go for the gusto on being those bad guys. And I think like it's the classic, like once you put the costume on, I'm sure she'll be there. I wouldn't
and like just looking at some of this as I was like Googling different pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, some of those costumes she wore in Glow, I could see kind of like, just picturing her as a villain. I'm like, that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it's still the 80s.
Like that's good casting.
Right?
Yeah.
So that works out great. Well, ish. Yeah. I mean, origin of one. And
came from the 80s. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of updated on the Batman 2. It looks like Matt Reeves and Warner Brothers are happy with the script. Matt Reeves said,
Nice.
we've shared the script, and as we've been going along with DC, they're super excited. The seeds of where this goes are all in the first movie, and it expands in a way that will show aspects of the characters you never got to see. Batman is consistently battling these forces, but those forces can't be entirely exercised. So the next movie develops deeper into that. And that's kind of the first that we've really heard plot-wise. I know that's not really plot, but it's interesting to hear that everything was set up in that first movie and just the blocks are building higher. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. It left off on quite a devastating note in that last film.
Man, it's one where it's worth a rewatch. I'm very excited to see how this one picks up from where the first one ended. Like, this is going to be it's going to be a fun ride. I'm on board with the my God, why can't I think of his name? Plays Bruce Wayne.
I
was gonna make a snarky Twilight joke, but fuck that.
Yeah,
it's too.
We'll just say
low hanging fruit.
Boy. Yeah. He's moved on from that world, Dennis. It's
Truly.
Great that we talk about movies and we can't think of fucking Twilight Boy's name right now. What's up with us? Fucking amateurs.
I can't even think of his character from Harry Potter's name. I know I can.
Oh, I never can think of his name. I'm always like, oh shit, that dude. But I don't know. I'm intrigued. In a couple of weeks, we're getting the Penguin show, which I think takes place between the movie and this. And I always was fascinated with the look of Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Holy shit.
Robert Pattinson. That's his name.
Thank you. Good call. No, glad you said it. It's that itch inside my brain.
It was going to eat away the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it really was. Colin Farrell in full Penguin makeup that's badass. I'm excited for how the rest of that is going to look. I'm pumped for when that show drops. Definitely going to be watching that one.
Clancy Brown's going to be in it.
Hey, you always need that voice.
Oh man, then I'm excited about this next one. It looks like James Wan is heading underwater again and bringing us a new version of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Interesting. Oh, okay, okay. I like the. All right, James, what you got? What you got for us? I know that'll be something gnarly.
Oh yeah, it's described as a grounded, modernized retelling that leans into the visceral horror, while as paying respect to the original classic. Which, if anybody can do this, I feel like it's him. But I find it weird. I mean, sure, I think he was the one behind The Invisible Man, and I don't know if you saw they just released a trailer for The Wolf Man. That looks kind of cool. So they're slowly rebuilding the monster universe. But a few years back, Guillermo del Toro wanted to do this, and they laughed at him. And then he gone and went to make fucking Shape of Water. So it's like, sucks that he missed out. But I guess they got a more bankable figure who's in that world of horror with this one, I guess.
Maybe
though Guillermo knows horror.
But I wonder if that was a deliberate sort of like. There's a lot of crossover between the two audiences, but maybe one is a much more artistic representation of that horror, and it's a little more cerebral, where the other can be visceral and have a certain edge that just it plays different in the box office. True, but I would watch. By the way, I would watch both those movies. But I'm very curious to see what he's going to do with this property. Then that's cool. A grounded, modernized version of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I wonder how that's going to be translated, because that's a scale. Like, I always liked the look of that thing. It's so weird, and obviously humanoid of a man being in a suit, but it's that like.
But there's so much you could do practical now opposed to back then, and the eeriness that you could add to this world. But to say that it's modern day, it's like, I'm intrigued. I'm really, really intrigued.
How are you going to get there? Is it, which like, is it just going to be like a piece on the environment and our man's effect on it or something, which I feel like is kind of obvious, but nothing wrong with that. But it's like, we've seen it a lot. It's been done before. What are you going to show us? What's going to be different about this one?
There's got to be something up his sleeve, I'm hoping. Or
with him, I would assume so. There would be. It's got to be a unique twist to it.
But I'm happy that they're giving this another chance and not just being like it's the dark universe where they're hoping to interconnect everything. Just let it be the way it is. Everything stands on its own perfectly. Like, sorry to Tom Cruise and the people behind the Mummy remake. just didn't have the impact. Like, you can't force a franchise into existence. You gotta let it kind of find its sea legs first.
Right. There you go. There you go.
But
Oh,
yeah. Up next, we're getting a little bit more Oceans. We're getting an Oceans 14,
even
but it
oceanier.
looks like Steven Soderbergh isn't returning this time. We don't know why, but it looks like they're offering the gig to Edward Berger, or as most people know him as, the director of that fantastic All Quiet on the Western Front movie that you reviewed a couple of years back.
Oh yeah.
And he has a very intense looking film called Conclave coming out soon about the Pope dying and this society, and it looks creepy as shit.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see how someone who can do an epic war movie like that, and then this kind of eerie religious film now doing a heist movie with some established stars. And it's been, I want to say, like 17 years since we've had an Oceans movie. So it's like, where are they at? I know in Oceans 10 or 9 or whatever, they said Danny was dead, but then they teased he was alive at the end. So it's like, are we going to get Sandy Bullock in this? I don't know.
Right? Yeah, like combine the teams. That would make sense for that. Actually, shit. As I say that, yeah, that would makes perfect sense. Especially who's left, who actually agrees to.
We've lost some of the 13 at this point, and at the same time, they're also developing the Ryan Gosling. What's her face? Why am I blanking on Barbie's name? Yeah, fantastic.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah,
this is a great, riveting show.
Think of.
Oh wow! I should really speak.
I've got my DVD case sitting next to me too.
I wish you did, and I wish you did because
Margot Robbie.
There we go.
God damn it!
Yeah. Wow. This is so sad. But
so this is how it's happening.
We do know some things.
Yes,
just not enough things off the top of our heads. Thank you for liking our dumbness on that.
Appreciate the honesty.
But no, as they're planning to do this, I know they're still talking about doing a prequel movie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling set back in, I want to say, like the 70s. So it's like you're going to have these two different oceans, or I guess at this point, 3 different oceans world going at the same time. How are you going to balance these plates? I don't know. I'm interested. Is it necessary? Maybe not, but those guys are fun. But I feel like Steven Soderbergh was the big part of those movies. His dynamic ways of setting up a scene and his camera movements. And
yes, exactly. There's a feeling, it was like getting to the third Quiet movie, like
Quiet Place Day,
where and it's. I can feel like different hands made this. Like it was still interesting, but it's like, it makes the world a little less familiar. And when you don't have like that texture and the way everything just blends together, the edit, the cinematography, like you were saying, I mean, not to say it'll be bad, because clearly this is another very well practiced director that makes excellent things. So it's
not
different.
like they're rushing it into production because it's been enough time. It must be a riveting enough story. But it's like you could take these actors and give them a new movie. That'd be fine. Like we're getting the movie Wolves with these two lead, Brad and George. And Apple loves it so much they're giving it a wider release. And they've already slated a sequel before it's even came out. So why not make more original content like that? Why go back to the well of oceans when I don't know. But like I said, I think
there's also been this there's been this generation of rediscovery too. People getting their kids to go back and watch movies that they liked when they were younger. That's becoming more common, and as things kind of make their rounds on different streaming services. So maybe that's part of the motivation too, seeing those little spikes of people are rewatching the Oceans movies, or we can sell the rights to a network and they can fucking play that shit all weekend and they still spike on viewership there. So it's the name still has some weight. So I guess
why not? But I'm still saddened that we never got another one with the ladies. I really enjoyed that dynamic and that cast that we had with them.
Which makes me think who says it has to actually be 14 people the next one? Just throw them all in the same movie. It's just ocean. The ocean. Take a swim.
Dive in.
Dive on in.
With Danny and the gang. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess maybe we can move on to another little segment here, Dennis, called polls.
Let's do it. I love that that little zoom in when like took the sip of the beat poll.
I didn't even know if it went through or not, but on episode 196, I reviewed Alien Romulus, and it got my brain wondering what the Toasties' favorite was. Which is a better film out of Alien and Aliens? I feel like this is a well-divided franchise, and there's allegiance to both films. Where do you lean on that?
Damn it. That's tough for me because
they're different.
A different enough feeling that it's really hard to say. I don't know. It really just depends on my mood. I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I would say Alien, only because it was my introduction to the world. And I after that first one, I knew like, okay, this is I can broaden my horizons to other things. Horror isn't just the same slasher movie and over again. Horror can be in fucking space. It can be under the water. It can exist anywhere.
It can be a bunch of truckers. Yeah, it can be anything.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm with you. Like, as of recently, if you've listened to the show and watched my movie Crumbs over on YouTube, I really did not like Alien. The whole franchise seemed boring and slow for me, but I recently went to the anniversary screening of Alien a couple of months back, and I really fell for Alien, and I really dug it, and that got me interested.
Badass.
So I'm with you. I think I'm kind of looking at fresh eyes. I'm on Alien a watch with you. So the Toasties have spoken, and Aliens came in second with 28.6, and Alien has 71.4. And for a while, I like to watch these. Yeah, I really dug rich, vivid looks. And speaking of, if you're listening to this, head over to our YouTube page at movie_toast on YouTube, and you can see all of our glorious images and our
faces. Beautiful H.R. Giger poster that Adam has chosen to represent Alien. I love that just creepy fucking. I mean, yes, it's a lot of penis
fine
shapes.
Detail.
It's scary alien penis shapes.
It's great stuff.
Creepy, but great.
But yeah, for a while, Aliens was in the lead, and then slowly over time, Alien then rose up. So it was neck and neck for a while. Yeah,
and then a clear surge of that's surprising though. I feel I hear Aliens quoted more often than Alien. I mean, my favorite being Bill Paxton's "We're all gonna die, man." Game over, man. Game over.
What a cast. What a fun film.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, up next, also on episode 196, Dennis, you reviewed Beetlejuice. So I wanted to know who the Toasties think Michael Keaton played the best out of Beetlejuice, Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Jack Frost.
Oh man, who he played the best? Oh fuck.
Yeah, who they liked, who he brought to life with the most oomph. I don't know. It was hard to put in words.
Oh, the founder, the guy who stole McDonald's.
Roy Kroc.
Roy Kroc. Yeah, there you go.
Movie.
It's excellent.
How do I know his name off the top of my head, but not Margot Robbie? What the fuck is wrong with me, man?
Well, because he was played by Michael Keaton. That's why.
That's true.
You have intimate knowledge of Michael Keaton's career. That's right. That's it right there. Oh fuck, that's a really good question because his Batman is pretty fucking fantastic. Like especially his Bruce Wayne is fantastic. I love the way he carried.
Yeah.
But I
had that duality.
Right. And then Beetlejuice, he's only in really the last half of the movie. You know, it's funny how much I forget. Like we said in the last episode, just how little Beetlejuice you get in Beetlejuice. But you know what? That's it right there. I think I'd have to say Batman just because he gets more of a chance to really fill out the character. 2 movies.
Three. Don't forget the Flash. Sir.
Oh shit! Yes. That's right. That's right.
Four times because he technically played Bruce over and Batman over in Batgirl, which we'll never see.
Man,
he was there. Which
Maybe
did you see his quote in the news cycle where he's like, "Yeah, it was a fun movie to make. I got paid. I don't care that it got shelved." I'm like, wow, some
Cold
honesty.
blooded. Oh shit. I've been Batman enough times. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it again. Just
been done. But for me,
this
Dennis,
summer.
out of these 4 characters,
Oh no.
I'm going Jack Frost, baby, because he brought so much heart and soul into a fucking talking snowman.
Talking
He
snowman.
emoted.
Hey, he played the
I don't
shit
know.
out of that harmonica.
He did. And then the guy who played Fred Flintstone in Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas, or I guess the king that gets beheaded in fucking Game of Thrones episode 1.
Oh,
Or it's Still Standing. That guy playing his manager as like the guy was like, I'll look after your family when you're dead. I like that guy. It'd be great if I knew his name, but not fucking Margot Robbie.
Right? That would be just salt in the wound. Just
Hey, he was also the manager in Love Actually of Bill Nye. Whatever.
oh
So
shit.
yeah, the Toasties
man.
have spoken, and 0% for Bruce Wayne. Man, I was shocked by this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
not shocked
that's-
by the fact that my boy Jack Frost got 0% as well. Sons of bitches.
Oh, that would have got one.
Classic.
Val didn't vote then because that would have been her choice. I know it.
18.2 for Bats.
Interesting.
Right?
And
I
you know
think it's
what?
just 81.8 for Beetlejuice. I think
Beetlejuice
it's because
fever.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the thing. If I put this out in 3 months from now, I bet it's gonna be widely different. Wildly
you'd have at least maybe one Bruce Wayne, but a few more Batman, I'm sure.
I think so.
That Beetlejuice would not be as high. Not to knock it,
No.
because it's still excellent. You know, it is
Oh,
a
yeah.
very unique character, and it is something that has lived on for decades, and the audience has never really left.
True.
I mean, shit. The
Like everyone
fucking
weird
box office has proven that. So
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a bunch of merchandise since the last movie. People still talk about it. Every Halloween, you see a bunch of Beetlejuice
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Right?
It's been in the zeitgeist for 30-something years at this
still
juncture.
my favorite character to meet at Universal. He's usually got to be like really on
Fun
their
little
toes
curmudgeon.
on their improv. Oh god, yeah. They have to. I'm sure that is a well casted cast member there. Well done, Universal.
I would hope
Studios.
so. Yeah. So I guess maybe we can get to the main attraction, as one would call it.
I think it's time. Let's hit it.
All right, let's get it.
Actions a few times, Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist would play.
All right,
Did
up
not
first,
mean to cut you off. Sorry. Oh, and I did it again. God damn it. I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch. Oh, man. All right, up first, I have a new movie called 1992. Wow, that's the wrong
Yes.
screen right there. Not so much new because it came out a week ago, but it's new and it's still in theaters. All right, so this is an interesting story that, as you can imagine, takes place back in 1992 in Los Angeles, right before the Rodney King trial verdict comes out. That's when this story takes place. So you have these two fathers and their kids, and we're seeing their day. You have this guy who recently got out of prison. He's done some horrendous shit. People don't fuck with him because he's a badass, but now he's turned another leaf and he's just trying to do right by him in society and trying to raise his son to be a good man. And he warns his kid. He's like, hey, after school, come straight home because it could get real, essentially, if this verdict goes the way it eventually ends up going. And so the kid's like, yeah, I'll come home. And the dad works at a platinum company, company that turns platinum into catalytic converters. And essentially, once the verdict is read, the boss decides to close the factory up and let everyone go home and be safe with their families. But once again, this guy lives in the hood. And by this guy, it's Tyrese. I'm sorry, I didn't set that up earlier. He's good friends with the head security officer. And he's like, hey, I live in the hood and I don't feel safe. Can me and my son come back here and just kind of lay low with you? And he's like, it's against protocol, but sure, you can come back if you feel comfortable.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he goes back home. Of course, his son's not there. He has to find his son. But as all
Right.
that's happening, there's this criminal, these robbers, two young boys and their father are casing the joint because they want to rob the factory for its platinum. And the dad is played by Ray Liotta in his final film role before his passing. And his son that kind of found the job is Scott Eastwood. And then they have another son named Dylan Arnold. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen him before. But they essentially decide it's not worth it. We're not going to do it. But then once all hell breaks loose in Los Angeles, they're like, that's the perfect time to do it. Let's go and do it. And they end up going there. And it should only be the dad and his two sons, but the dad decides, I want to bring my two goons essentially with me because I can trust them. And then the son's like, all right, I'm going to bring my best friend with me. And so they go, and shit hits the fan fast. They end up killing the guy who's the security officer. And by the time Tyrese and his son go there, they split up because Tyrese is going to the office and the son's going to the bathroom. The son essentially gets kidnapped and held hostage. And it becomes kind of a tit for tat because Tyrese realizes what's going on and he ends up capturing Scott Eastwood. And it's kind of like, I'll give you my son back if you get your son.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's this tension. But that comes much later in the film. The interesting thing is just watching as all hell is breaking loose in Los Angeles. Like, it's crazy because it's real life. It really happened. And like, you're seeing as they're trying to get to the factory, there's like police barricading areas, and they of course stop the car and essentially harass Tyrese and his son as they let white drivers just drive on by. Jesus. It's horrendous. And you're getting to see that. And you could see, that Tyrese could stand up and kind of fuck shit up, but he has to do what's right for his son. And he doesn't want to end back in jail. He doesn't want to have to kill anybody. But once his son is in danger, he kicks into John McClane mode, and it's intense. It's graphic. And by God, I forgot how fantastic Ray Liotta is because he's menacing. He's willing to kill anyone and anything, including his own family if he needs to make money.
Fuck.
And it's brutal. It's unnerving.
Nice,
it
man.
looks raw. It's dark and gritty. There's a little bit of comedy, but it's just, it's kind of a very emotional, interesting thing to see on the big screen. I know it's not the first time we've seen this type of story, but it's interesting to put that heist film. Yeah.
I never would have thought of combining, like putting it in that setting at that time. That's a great way of going with, what would you do? There's no assistance is coming. It's all chaos out beyond you. Just because even you're out of this situation probably doesn't even mean you're safe. You could stumble into something else horrible. I'm curious, did they use any like real footage, like local LA news footage?
I mean, there are some scenes where they're like flicking through the stations and whatnot, and it looks like we're seeing stuff. So I think there is some, but very limited, really. It's more about building it in camera in this world.
Oh, for sure. Okay.
But watching it on the news and whatnot, you get a little bit. And it's kind of cool because Death Row Records essentially produced this, and I think Snoop Dogg's one of the producers on it. So that was kind of cool.
Badass.
But Tyrese gives a great performance. Ray Liotta, Scott Eastwood, everyone in it is just pretty good, pretty phenomenal. Nice. The directing's pretty solid. The cinematography is fun. I'm going to give 1992 2.5 slices of toast. It's an interesting twist on the heist genre, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Intriguing. Yeah. I might have checked that one
next,
out.
Yeah. We have a tag team of a movie I kind of suggested to you last episode, so I'm intrigued to get your take on this.
Oh,
movie.
yeah. I'm excited too.
I'm afraid, man. It could go a lot of different ways.
It's true. I because I was thinking that too when I was watching it. I'm like,
I wanted to hate this movie, but you want to let the audience know what the movie is and set it up.
So, like many before it, this is a classic tale of a coming of age story in the high school era, as one does in the United States. Here we get our incoming freshman, who is our main character, is the younger brother of shit. I'm sorry. I got to remember these characters' names. It's the younger brother of a
badass character
at the same high school. And he's kind of just like starting to get the lay of the land. Him and his best friends were all like walking in, like everyone remembers who's gone through this. you're walking into essentially what feels like a new world there's the stories you've heard and the expectations you might have. It is definitely in the raunchier end of the spectrum. Think more in line with Booksmart, Super Bad, something in that vein. But it's got a modern twist to its presentation. It acknowledges the audience that would be watching this right now, rather than just trying to remake like Superbad exactly as it is, because it just wouldn't play the same to modern audience. We're adjusting to our first week of high school, and we're building up to the big party on the weekend, celebrating the beginning of the school year, more or less. Of their group of friends, the shitty, self-centered one, Koosh, is his older brother is hosting.
Don't call him Koosh, man. He's gonna get punched by his brother if you do that.
Oh, don't call me Koosh. So he's all excited. They're having a party at his house, and they've all kind of either there's a girl they're into or something that they see playing out. They all want to conquer those things, make all that shit happen at the big party.
This is a chance to reinvent themselves.
Exactly. Yes. You're going to make a name for yourself. I'm not going to be a dork. I'm going to stop singing choir. I'm going to be the popular fucking TikToker, whatever the thing is, or I'm going to be as invisible as possible because I don't want anyone to notice me. Some unexpected turns, like Bobby Cannavale's character as Mr. Studebaker.
Oh, God.
Deciding to join the high school party as their chemistry teacher, who's
partying, but still teaching them. They're teaching the kids in a very fun, interesting way as he's getting fucked up. Because in the opening of the movie, we see him calling all his adult friends, and they essentially took sides with his wife or don't really want to talk to him. So he's invited to the party. He's like, I'm not going. You see him outside of the party. Kid's got to egg him on to come inside. Every second, I'm just going, I guess I'll do a shot. Oh, I'll do a hit of the bong. Oh, man, it escalates quick with that guy.
It escalates very quickly, yes. There's some fun, familiar faces in here, too. Little sprinkle of Caitlin Olsen in there. Scott MacArthur.
I love Scott MacArthur.
Yeah.
Especially that stepdad.
Oh, God damn it. Dennis. Which that was great. I always like hating
that
Dennis's
end moment with
things. Them. Thomas Barbuska, who plays Ruby. It's like, come on, we're carpool buddies. Like that whole just the accepted culture of all that shit. Okay, I know we're making a lot of references to the movie, but it has a lot of these little pieces that just meld so well together. It splits apart multiple directions. I could see someone almost trying to attempt like a series with this. Thank God you didn't. It's 90 minutes. They hit you fast. Like it wastes no time getting into the fun of it. It lets you know when the tone of the movie really fucking fast with the shit his sister says to him at the dining room table for breakfast in the morning.
And it does part.
It does,
which is
just
surprising.
like the other movies, the other raunchy teen comedy movies we mentioned. It has as much heart as those in its own way, and I think it does a really good job of presenting that. Sometimes it is, people do just want to be like the nice person. Those characters they have to go through some shit literally to get there, but they
get some Taco Bell along the way.
Where do you live? Taco Bell. Oh my God. There was so many and that's the thing. And look at us quoting it now. This is how much fun it was to watch the movie. I had a genuinely good time. I found myself laughing out loud quite a bit.
I went in wanting to hate this movie. I'm like, this movie's gonna suck really bad. And then it just won me over after like 5-6 minutes.
Really did. It had some very clever budgeting. There were some weird choices to make of like, yes, I get it's supposed to be a rich family's house we're having the party in, but it's also then it starts to like, well, some of this doesn't make sense how things are arranged and whatever, but I'm like, I get it. You're making shit work with what you got. And like I said, they spend it in the right place. They make the party look like a fucking rager. Like every fantasy. Yeah.
I love watching movie parties, man, especially high school parties.
Right.
It's like, in what world? Come on.
Oh, and then it's like, you kind of have to forgive that, like, it's obviously like 28-year-olds everywhere. Like, these are not high school kids. And I was like, thank God. I mean, that's as it should be for a movie like this. But it's just, it's funny. I feel like in the early 2000s, you get to like, She's All That in the movie, that era of movie making. It at least seemed a little closer, but
yeah, you don't get these types of movies very often these days because nobody really wants to push these boundaries. And I feel like that's why it's perfect that it came out on Netflix, because everyone has the chance to see it. Like, I know if this came out and I was like 13 or 14, couldn't buy a movie ticket, but I can definitely click play on Netflix and watch this.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And I love the twist. Normally in these movies, it's like, oh, it's the big end of the year bash that's happening, but this is the beginning of the year bash, and you never really see that concept either.
No, I think that's also what made it. It's that writing, that excitement, that high of, you know, getting into high school at the very beginning. It's you haven't become bitter yet, you know, like you're still the incoming friend, like your eyes are still wide, you're like ready for all the shit.
You really think it could go any way, and it does in a way set you off into your adulthood in a way. But even once you get to college, you're still not in your adulthood. In your 30s, it still doesn't feel like adulthood. But back then, you feel like the shit because you're in high school. And and these characters are well defined. They all have their own distinct characteristics, which is great.
And well performed. Like these kids did such a good job. I had so much fun with their performances, and I really believed who they were portraying, you know. I could see being friends with a few of them. Like I would have been friends with some of those guys when I was in high school, for sure.
And it shows that you can really be yourself and people will accept you, which you don't really get too much in teen comedies.
Not in a preachy way either. Like,
no,
you gotta accept the, you know, take her glasses off and now she's hot. Like we don't really do it like that. It's done in some other dramatic ways, but at least they're a lot more entertaining than just seeing that same beat repeated, I guess.
Yes.
But it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of moments. It's quite dense. I couldn't believe how much they pack into 90 minutes, but they get a lot of shit.
And it flies by.
Yeah. I did like there is a fun little mid-credit scene. I'm not sure if you caught that.
I feel like
Mr. Studebaker gets one more.
Oh, yes. Yep. I'm like, oh man, it's like, okay, this movie felt like it was based on reality. And then I'm like, oh no, I guess not. And then that scene happens. I'm like, all right, we're back in real life. Thank God.
Back into it. Right. There's a couple of elements.
I feel bad for him, but he deserves it.
Yeah. It's very true. No, that was a lot of fun. So I'm curious, man, after all that hype, what's how many slices you giving this bad boy?
I'm going to give it 3 slices. I had a great time. It's not the best movie, but definitely one of the most entertaining I've seen in a while. Because I feel like there hasn't been a whole bunch of comedies happening lately that I can get behind. And this felt refreshing in that manner. But what about you? I'm happy. It sounds like you enjoyed it.
I'm matching you completely. I'm also 3 slices.
Nice.
I totally back everything you're saying. This felt like a breath of fresh air in that I just got to truly like belly laugh several times, and it just felt good to just get that out and just like maybe it's not if you can't handle a little bit of gross out humor, if you don't like really edgy sort of just gross out sort of jokes, maybe you're not gonna love it. But I think the heart, the pacing, and the great performances we're getting throughout this whole movie are really worth a watch. And given that it's on Netflix, it's really easy to get a hold of and check out. So if you're at all curious, if you're just in the mood for another party, you know, teen party comedy, please add it to the queue and give it a watch.
Yeah, definitely. Now I'm gonna jump genres into something different on the big screen. A little bit of an airier thriller, I suppose.
Okay.
I want to say horror, but it's not a horror. A new movie called The Front Room. This movie stars Brandy. She is a pregnant woman. She recently quit her job. Her husband's up for a promotion at work. His father just died, and his stepmother wants to leave him all their money and everything. But her one condition is she wants to move in with him and his wife and their upcoming child. And the son is not looking forward to this because she was kind of abusive and very rude and just not a good person to him growing up, and still isn't, honestly. But they're in dire restraints. They're barely making ends meet, and they could pay off their mortgage. They could give their kid a better life. So after a little convincing from Brandy, I'm sorry, I should probably give you her real name, and Belinda, he says, fine, we'll move her in. And then she moves in and things are okay. There's a little bit of a struggle. She seems a little bit incontinent. She can't really do much for herself. And things just start really taking a weird turn. Like
Okay.
nothing spooky, but
Unsettling.
she starts to kind of take over their life, over their world, changing things.
Oh, okay.
And perspectives start changing, and she's overly religious, and she speaks in tongue, and she knows these intimate things that she's never shared with anybody. And it's like, is this a supernatural thing? Is this a religious thing? Is she just crazy? It's hard to tell, but she has these insights that she shouldn't have. And it just becomes a battle of wills with Belinda and her mother-in-law. And slowly, her husband takes her side, his stepmother's side. And then it's like the wife's like, no, your mother is fucking with me and fucking with you. And even the baby, once it's born, ends up kind of gravitating to the grandmother. And it's like,
oh man,
how far can you push it? And she's stuck at home all day with the baby and in this older woman. And it's crazy because this woman looks like she's like 80 or 90 and just very brittle and like very creepy, unsettling things are going on with her. And like then you see like she'll wink and kind of like give smiles behind her her son's back to the wife, and she's like, what the fuck?
Creepy.
And and then I looked it up, and the woman playing the mother, Solange, she's only like 65, but I don't know if they made makeup and stuff because she looks like an elderly, brittle woman. And it's unsettling, it's unnerving, and it's creepy.
Okay.
And like the set design, the house they live in looks like kind of like a grandmother's house. And even like Solange, the old woman coming in, she's like, what is this? This is a weird, unsettling, like, and like even like their furniture is like wicker, and it's like the set design just doesn't match a young hip couple. I mean, they're not hip, but it doesn't match a 40-year-old couple. But I guess they're kind of poor. I don't know. Overall, this movie, I don't know if I liked it or if I disliked it. I'm kind of in the middle because the whole time I was expecting horror.
Right.
And it was horror because it was like, what the fuck's going on? And like, you're just waiting for something to click, and nothing fully clicks until the very end. Then things ramp up a lot in the third act. And it's like, how is this movie going to come to a complete stop? And I feel like it stuck the landing, but I still don't know how I feel. Like I laughed at some points because it was funny, and then I cringed at others.
Okay.
But I will say I liked the mother and the wife, but the son's acting was kind of subpar. Some of the dialogue was a little rough, but everything else was kind of fun about it. And I guess this is a I believe it's an A24 movie, so I guess that should explain the vibe. I guess.
Okay. Once you're like, oh, gotcha. I get you. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
A24.
So
Nice.
I'm going to give the front room 2 slices of toast.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. It's intriguing though. Yeah, I like this sort of, I like this slow build of when movies do that sort of thing of like making even the audience second guess. Wait a minute, is this weird? Is that bad? Wait a minute, what's going on? I mean, is she real?
All right, so I'm gonna it's not spoiling much, but 2 of the most unsettling things here that you see a woman covered in shit and piss and making other people clean her up, refusing to take a bath. You see a grown man sucking on an elderly woman's tits for milk. And that's just some of the unsettling stuff you see in this movie.
God. Okay.
Yeah, and then I discovered this was done by the siblings of Robert Eggers, I believe is his name, the guy that did The Northman and The Lighthouse. He's doing Nosferatu.
Okay. Yeah.
They have a very distinguished look and style, and because I know they've written some movies with their brother, but I think this is their first feature on their own. And
cool. Oh,
pretty
nice.
good for that. I'll give them credit for that point. But
nice,
unsettling and unnerving.
Brandy.
If you're looking for something different, yeah, and she killed it. Not Mauricia in this movie. Oh, man.
Well, that's cool. Good for her. No, I'm intrigued. Might have to check this one out too.
Yeah.
Got me
I'd love to hear your
curious.
take on it. We got a tag team up that I am intrigued to see your take on, but you also got to go to the world premiere red carpet and do some interviews on this one.
Yes, I did. We're talking about The Thicket. This is telling the story of a group of, well, several groups of people as they kind of cross paths with each other. We have more or less our main character who, after losing their uncle, being sent away to live with their aunt in another state, the uncle gets killed who's trying to take them to their aunt's, and his sister gets kidnapped, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to try to find her and get her back, and finds out it was this notorious crazy ass gunslinger named Cutthroat Bill and his gang, as some people think, but turns out her gang is actually this very intense, not your typical like kicking up crime sort of gang as they roll through town. Then we come across a couple of other characters on his journey to find people who will help him on with his mission. We come across a couple of gravediggers, played by Peter Dinklage, and I want to get his. I remember looking up how to say his name, and I wanted to get it fucking right. Benga Akange. God damn it!
Perfect pronunciation.
I tried. Okay.
Good thing you didn't interview him on the red carpet, saying his name to him.
I had to. Yeah, it's like I looked up a video even to try to like get the enunciation right. But Benga, I remember, is how you say his first name. But between the two of them, they're kind of just scraping by as and
they're bounty hunters too, by the way.
That's right. Like clearly, this is the that's like the side hustle. You start to find there's much more to the story as the movie goes along. As we continue down the path in our journey, we come across a whorehouse where there's clearly our main character sees this girl that he saw got kidnapped in the last town and was like, no, I'm going to help her out of the situation. And she also joins them on their journey. And this kind of like unlikely cast of characters, this unlikely band of heroes who at first they don't even really want to join forces necessarily, but as we continue down and start to humanize each other and appreciate where everyone has been up to this point, they really form as this strong bond, and we are going to see this through to the end. And everywhere from the like some of the henchmen have some interesting stories that they incorporate into, much less all of our main cast, but the villain herself, Cutthroat Bill, has got so much depth and one of the gnarliest performances in this movie, and that was something I was not expecting to see from Juliette Lewis for sure.
And she looks physically different. The makeup in the way
the
she
scarring
speaks.
and they're just the way she walks. I love that that opening shot of the motorbike coming down the path and all that opening, and like it's like, oh god damn, it's like, all right, this is, wait a minute, what era is this? I had to think about
that's what I said. I'm like, I thought this was a Western, but I'm like, I guess okay.
They existed,
cool.
yeah. They like some of the earliest versions of that, and then like because this would make it I think I heard this was supposed to be 1908. At first I thought it would be like 1910.
American Saga.
Yeah. It's somewhere in that era. But as we're coming along, we find out the gang is retreating back to this sort of like hiding place that they bat down in over the winter, and that is called the Thicket, as the title is
and winter is coming, as Game of Thrones tells you, and the passage to get there is closing in very soon.
Yes. It takes all of their various talents and skills to kind of get ourselves there, survive the onslaught of the varying groups that are now after different members of the party. It's an interestingly woven story. I will say it looks gorgeous. So much of this, because they filmed in Calgary, in the real. I mean, that snow is fucking real. -25. It was some gnarly conditions, and the days were super short because of the time of year they were filming.
Oh,
so
they had to
bang that stuff in and out quick. But it's an impressive feat just accomplishing shooting a movie in those conditions. To shoot a whole feature film in 22 days in that snow also quite impressive.
The
but
equipment, everything.
God, yeah. Well, it turns out a lot of the crew came from the Revenant, so they were used to working in this gnarly ass conditions. So it's an interesting team lift here for getting this thing made, man.
And I gotta say, Peter Dinklage as a badass, like when people make fun of his size or laugh at him, and he just fucking takes them down like it's nothing, and it's so believable and intense. And he's just like a quiet man.
I love that the first time we see just how skilled his character is. I love that it's like kind of, I think it's maybe the second line, James Hetfield, the lead singer of Metallica, who's also in this movie. I wouldn't do it. You just hear that?
Yes.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Well, as Adam had mentioned before, yes, I did get to go onto the red carpet. I got to do a couple of short interviews among the other members of the press, where we got to speak with the director, one of the executive producers, one of the characters who played, or one of the actors who played one of the henchmen, who had a grisly experience in the movie, as well as one of the stars, Juliette Lewis. Had a quick moment with her. That was really cool. All very lovely people, and excited for the movie, which I don't blame you. It took them 10 years to finally get this one done. Peter Dinklage has been on the project. They had found the book, loved it, like, this thing needs to get made, and they've been at it for quite some time until they finally were able to get it shot. I guess it came close to getting shut down a couple of times, but got that thing made.
And it's interesting. This is a Tubi original movie. Tubi produced it, but it's in theaters opposed to on the streaming service currently.
Which I thought, yeah, it's cool. It's going to beat it by several days. I want to say it's been in theaters before it will eventually be available for VOD, but I think it's definitely worthy of that scope. It has that framing. To go along with the visuals, yeah, I really like the costume design is fantastic. Oh, we got there we go. Thank you, Rick, for the shout out. The costume design is fantastic. The props were all really interesting. I
dug the score.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
It was interesting for Wes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's all good. I was just gonna say I really liked Peter Dinklage's. I think it was a rolling block rifle. His sniper rifle that he's got his own like little custom tripod and shit. Like, that was badass, and just him. Yeah, that was satisfying. Whenever that thing got whipped out, it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was an interesting film. I liked the journey. It reminded me of a lot of the sort of more how do I want to put it? Not headier westerns, but it gives you a lot of these moments to really let the situation sink in. Between the pregnant pauses between scenes and just kind of the gravity, the weight of everything, it's pretty, like, these are not people living high on life, for sure. And I like this kind of rough experience that everyone gets into. There are a few moments though where I feel like some scenes, the dialogue makes sense for the era they're in, but then there's other conversations where I thought like it sounded a little modern. I don't know if it was delivery or just specific vocabulary that was being used. But there was I just remember like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's a few times like, oh, that just sounded weird how we got the information. And then there's a few times even the advancing the plot seemed a little on the nose when we just happened to walk upon one person who then has a considerable amount of knowledge of the situation they're in. But setting those things aside, I still think that was a very interesting story to tell. And I liked our cast of characters in here and everyone feeling very different. Like I said, very strong performances from our two leads. If you're watching the stream here in the poster, they have some, like, the coolest. I love those shots they used of them. Yeah, I wish we would have seen some more of the rest of the gang. A few of them got killed off faster than I wish we would have just had more of a chance to exist. I don't know, but it was an interesting ride. I'm glad we had the opportunity to toast the shit out of that one.
Definitely. What are you gonna give slice wise for this one?
I'm gonna do 2.5 slices for the Thicket. I just went, like, there's a couple moments where it kind of slowed down. tapped on the brakes a little too hard, but then it started to ramp back up. I appreciated the realism that they brought to this world that they lived in. There wasn't like where you had those kind of classic cowboy elements of some of our characters having sharpshooting abilities that are above and beyond what others should have. It's for good reason, and it's not spread throughout. It's not like everyone's amazing at the shit. I like how it balances back out, and this gritty, dark, heavy world was an interesting one to go visit.
Yeah. I'm going to be right around your zone. I'm going to give it 2 slices personally. I'm not normally a fan of Westerns, but I feel like the cast really elevated this, and the visuals and just everything that we spoke about. Like, it had a little bit more going on. It felt more like a modern movie in some aspects, which was kind of nice, opposed to just living in the dry desert heat. And seeing a different perspective on the West.
And that was I believe a big selling point. It sounds like from the producers and the director was it's giving it such a different character, not seeing the same drab yellow sandy color all the time, that to actually live in a different palette instead for Western, which we really, like you said, really don't see often. What comes to mind for me is always something like a Jeremiah Johnson, which is very mountainous. It's a Western, it's a Western themed movie, I would say, but it's all mountain people. Like it's in the thick of the winter, and it's super harsh, much like the way this one plays out.
Fair enough.
Which I would recommend if you were looking for another mountainy Western to watch, you toasties out there. I
heard Jeremiah was Bullfrog, but that's just my take on it. You got a movie that I really wanted to watch because I've been hearing great things about, and I'm really excited to hear your review on it of the new Netflix film.
Oh yeah, Rebel Ridge. This is like Adam said, new from Netflix. This has got a interesting cast in here. I immediately was not familiar with Aaron Pierre as the movie opened up, but I'm like, he already has an air about him as the movie kicked off. Don Johnson, Anna Sophia Robb, and David Denman. Some James Cromwell action in there too. This is telling the story of a former Marine who is carrying his cousin's bail money into the local courthouse. And he's trying to get him bailed out. He's just riding his bike down a country road, and he's got his headphones blaring some kick-ass Iron Maiden, and sheriff's officer fucking taps his bike, knocks him to the ground, said, "You were resisting, you weren't pulling over." They hassle him, scrape him up, find all this money. Oh, it must be drug money, so we're going to confiscate it. You're going to have to come to court and fight to get it back. But he's like, "Look, I'm just trying to bail out my cousin." And some tension immediately builds. It's at first, it seems to be this like racially charged thing, but you can tell there's like, in addition to that, there is another layer of something going on. We get to the police station. He's trying again the next day, and we're quickly learning he's got some resources. He has this a strong sense of his surroundings. He has an awareness of psychology and how to communicate with people in order to maybe get them to reveal a little bit more than they are really supposed to, and a great memory for where things are. Starts getting a little bit of help from one of the employees of the courthouse, Anna Sophia Robb's character. So Summer is helping Terry try to get his cousin out before the deadline of when he's supposed to be moved to the state prison. And of course, every roadblock gets thrown in his way, and it's really escalating like fast. I was really surprised, like, for a movie that's 2 hours long.
Oh wow.
It fucking never lets off the gas. As soon as this thing starts, it really never slows down. And that was like, because we had to pause it for a couple various things, take the dog out and whatever, come back to it. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's still that much movie left. I'm not mad, but I'm like, holy shit, I feel like we've seen so much play out. And it seems like, okay, you could still solve the problem in 2-3 more steps. No. We start adding these other layers into it. And man, I had a good time watching this. I really didn't have much of any expectation for it. This was another, I forget who in the cast was on KTLA recently. I don't think it was Don Johnson, but somebody was on the show talking about this movie, They were hyping it up, and I was like, okay, I don't know. Sounds like something I would enjoy. Sounds like something that they probably tried writing for a bigger budget with a even bigger cast, but maybe that didn't work. So it landed here. Let me tell you, don't notice, don't care. What we have in front of us is an awesome action movie. It's a great thriller that ramps up in a very interesting, specific way. It takes turns I was not expecting. This could have just been a straight up Rambo movie, and it kind of starts to play out that way, which I love the first Rambo.
That's what I've been hearing. Yeah, like a modern day Rambo,
but with a really interesting presentation to it. Like you start finding out his specific background. Now he's not like some worldwide secret team, I've saved the world 100 times sort of guy. No. Not at all who you expect him to be. Yes, he is a former Marine, but there's a few more layers to sweeten a few more layers to the onion to peel back. I had a good time watching this movie, dude. It's a solid entry for this sort of like escaping the crooked cop town sort of vibe. Great performances all around. I liked just the intimidation factor we get from Aaron Pierre here. And Sophia Robb, she does a great job of playing this very intelligent, but heartwarming character of she's just trying to do right by her daughter. And she doesn't want to let people who are also trying to better themselves, like she has, to fall into the cracks in the system and really help push people up. And she sees the value of human lives who are like trying to do better. They're trying to be good people. And that's exactly what's playing out. Always like seeing James Cromwell. He plays the judge in the town. He's good. He's got a couple things going on. I don't want to say too much because that'll spoil it. Don Johnson, he kills it. He's great, small town like sheriff, and it starts to seem predictable what his character's doing, but then it, like everything else in the movie, you start adding those layers on, and then it starts putting things into perspective. And then David Denman, like gotta love The Office over there. A little bit of Office action sprinkled in.
David, who is that? Pam's ex? I'm trying to think of who. Okay, yep. I always love him, but I always forget his name. I just know Roy.
Yep, there you go.
I love that guy.
Character in Zero Dark 30, but yeah, no, he's great. Everyone honestly in this movie does a good job. It did really well. The town itself plays a good character. I like the locations because they felt aged. It's takes place in Alabama, I want to say. So it's got this southern swampy feeling to like the basements, and there's the very rich feeling history throughout the town, and it looks great. The action was awesome. I loved all the hand-to-hand combat, which is surprising. Which it's kind of misleading with the number of guns you see on the thumbnail we have chosen here, which isn't wrong. There is a lot of gunplay, but it's not what he does. He prefers hand-to-hand combat first. So that's it. It creates this interesting scenario of like he can just wade through a dozen guys and
you can never go wrong with the hand job.
He doesn't kill a single person. He drops them all down.
Nice.
No, it's
where is he on like a Jack Bauer style? Is anything like a JB?
Oh, he would be like, this guy would totally be on Jack Bauer's team. 100%. Nice. This would be someone Jack Bauer would like show up if he called him, or he would show up if Jack Bauer needed him, and he could be there to fucking get the job done.
I'm excited for this, man.
It's cool. And it's another one of those where like I think they did a great job of spending the budget in the right places. There's a few things where like we get a couple special effects that don't look great, but you know what? I forgive that shit when you spent all of this time on the stunts. You got great locations. I believed the place we were in. It makes the characters more believable. It gives that dimension to everything. And I thoroughly enjoyed this film. And I'm gonna fuel the hype fire on this one, man. I'm gonna go along with the hype.
I've been trying to I just haven't had a chance to get to it. I was trying so hard to fit it into my schedule to review with you, but I'm like, I can't. You
got solid flicks though. You got some solid flicks. I think you're gonna enjoy it. I think you're gonna have a good time with it.
I look forward to it.
It's
how many slices?
Cool. I'm gonna give it 3. This is a worthy entry to just get like you feel like some action, a little bit of like I said, like we compared it to not a retelling of Rambo, but it's very Rambo-esque feeling, without going to those extremes. But don't let that fool you. Don't think that slows down the action because that fucking does not let up. It is for real, and it is prevails through the whole film.
Not
Go
bad.
check it out. Check it out on Netflix.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to close out our reviews with a sequel 36 years in the making. I'm talking, of course, of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. All right. So there's a lot going on in this movie. All right. So it starts off essentially Lydia's dad suddenly died, and her stepmom is like, hey, we got to go back to Winter River, back to the house, to your childhood home. We got to bury him there. He loved it there. And Lydia's like very hesitant because, of course, that's where she encountered Beetlejuice and so many other specters. And she's been having these weird visions of Beetlejuice, and he's kind of been haunting her. And she's not really in a very good place right now. She's very vulnerable. Clearly, the events of what happened years ago have really weighed down on her. Because now she hosts a TV show where she talks to people who are getting haunted, and she's able to see the ghost and interact with them. But she's also very fearful. She is on pills to kind of keep her cool. She's not really on speaking terms with her daughter, Astrid. Her daughter blames her for the death of her dad because right before her dad died, they were on rocky terms. And now she's dating this douchebag who's kind of taking advantage of her. And so needless to say, these 3 generations of Deets go back there, and everything's going mediocre until Lydia's daughter, Astrid, ends up one way or the other dying and going to the afterlife, and Lydia has to turn to Beetlejuice of all beings to help her get her daughter back.
Okay.
And she's very hesitant on doing this, but she wants her daughter to be alive, of course. And as right before that happened, Beetlejuice found out that his ex-wife is back. That's right. We learned about Beetlejuice being married in the past, and she is on a murdering spree, hunting him down. So he's hiding from her. We also get a little... We get a little bit of a Beetlejuice origin story of before he died, and it's like kind of like a foreign movie, a little short foreign movie in another language being told, and it's fun and goofy. And so once this arises, of course, we know Beetlejuice has still been pining over Lydia because he has a picture of her on his desk, and he is trying to send her messages. He is haunting her, essentially. So his one condition is, I'll help you get your daughter back, but you have to marry me. And if she does marry him, he's safe from his ex-wife, who he's afraid of. I don't fully know why, but for some reason or another. And so it's like, all right, cool, let's do it. And so they go on a journey. And of course, she is a human who's not dead, so she's not supposed to be in the afterlife. So now there's this dead actor who played a cop, and he thinks he's a cop, and he's like raising this group of blue cops to hunt down Beetlejuice and Lydia as all this is happening. It's wacky, and there's more going on in this story, and I just don't want to dive super deep into it. But by God, you're getting the returning cast of Catherine O'Hara, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, but you're getting new additions like Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, Justin Thoreau, Monica Bellucci, and a few other familiar faces. A great cameo from one of Tim Burton's old cohorts in the opening of the movie that I loved, and I think you'll enjoy. But I'm not going to lie, I wasn't a huge fan of the original. I feel like it's a fine movie, but it's a little overhyped, I think. But right away, this movie kind of hooked me. Like, the first fucking second you see the banner of Warner Brothers and hear that classic Beetlejuice style music, it's just like so happy and so fun. And it's like Tim Burton is back in his prime. I feel like he's had some stinkers recently, and this movie is just so beautiful because you're getting these beautiful Tim Burton sets that are wacky and just creepy and airy and cartoonish, and then you're getting these beautiful dead people and creatures that are primarily practical effects. You're getting a fantastic score. Hell, there's even a big song and dance number in this movie that rivals the original song and dance number. And I don't know why, but I was like taken away by it. I thought it was whimsical and fun.
That's
And
awesome.
the new characters, Willem Dafoe plays that actor cop, and there's this great joke that he's always giving these monologues, and then his secretary comes in and gives him a fresh cup of coffee, and he like throws it on the ground and crinkles it up, and he just has this great cheesiness. And Justin Theroux is Lydia's, I guess, fiance, and he's kind of like this cheesy asshole who you really can't trust, and he's just so fun to love to hate. You love to hate him, and it's fun. Sorry, I said it in a weird manner.
Oh yeah, no, that made perfect sense to me.
And Monica Bellucci is the ex-wife, and she's just chilling and really demands her scenes. Like everyone fears her, and she looks creepy. And I will say the two things I didn't like about this was the fact that, like I said, Lydia is kind of like, I feel like she's watered down. She used to be a rebellious, fun, badass who wasn't afraid of anything, and now she's kind of afraid of things, and she just doesn't feel the same to me. I didn't like that aspect. And they build up the whole movie, Beetlejuice's ex hunting him down and him fearing her. And then once they finally come head to head, face to face, everything's resolved super easily, super quick, wrapped up in a nice little neat bow. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I didn't care for that very much. But everything else was fantastic. I loved every second of this. This movie, I think, is an hour and 44 minutes, and it flies by. There's so much happening in it, and everyone's giving great performances. Ah, man, I'm really, really happy to have seen this. I saw it in IMAX, and like the sound was fantastic. Like
awesome.
The ground shook underneath me. I'm like, is there like an earthquake every now and again? I'm like, that's how like crazy some of the stuff was. And
That's cool.
It felt nostalgic and fun, and it was eerie, it was creepy, it was fantastic. I'm gonna give Beetlejuice 3.5 slices of toast.
Nice. Badass.
I dug it, man.
So you too agree with the hype.
I do, and I really went in skeptical.
Yeah, but that's cool. It's nice when it's like, oh shit, it really is just that good. And sometimes we get those films that it's there. I would love to get to the theater soon and see it as well. I'm just bummed we didn't get to, but yeah, sorry, please.
I have heard other people give it negative reviews, so take my word with a grain of salt and make your own judgment. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it.
Oh, for sure.
You're gonna be like, it fucking was the worst movie I've ever seen. Why would you recommend that?
Cut out my eyes. No.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, it's good to end on a high review rating too. That's fun when we get to share a real good one with you guys. So, well, that was a good amount of toast too, and we got a lot of decent flicks, like a lot of things that I think a broad audience would enjoy checking out. Between the comedies, some family fun, some action,
drama,
it's all a little bit of everything. We got it in there.
Gotta love it.
Taco Bell shits.
Good times.
Great oldies.
Thank you guys for watching, for listening. We ask that you can follow us on our socials: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, man. Threads, all at movie_toast. Please, we got some cool stuff going on over there.
Yes, and then nope.
Oh, sorry. And I was going to say, like, you'll be able to see Dennis's interview with the folks from the Thicket. You can even watch Dennis play some Resident Evil 4. He's been doing some streaming gaming for you guys. Something different we're doing
through that. It's fun, kind of looking back at a game that I feel like I should recognize, and it's got. I love how familiar things are, but still presented in a unique and fresh way. So I'd come and join me next time you see a poster and such that it'll be happening. I don't quite have a set time yet. I'm still getting the flow of things, still working out a few kinks. I know some of the visuals. I'm going to try to figure out the video feed a little better. If not, it might be get some dropped frames, but the gameplay's still there. I'm still chatting with you. Please feel free to come and hang out and chat with me. But that's not all we do. We got
you can come hang out with us in December, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a little thing called Movie Toast the Festival happening for the 4th time. That's right. 4 years we've been keeping this thing alive. And you folks who've been submitting, I'm sure a few of you are got to be listening now. Please, if you haven't submitted, please enter your short film soon. We've got a decent stack of them to add to the pile.
I want to say less than a month left to submit, so get in there.
It's going to sneak up on you fast, and we got to start making this thing happen for you guys. And we have a lot of fun. It's a live stream. Well, it's a recorded stream that we do over on YouTube that we chat live while it is occurring, and you can join us while it's playing out during the premiere.
It's more theatrical. There's more going on than just what you see on the show here.
Yes,
there's a lot of fun edits that we have on there visually, and just fantastic walks of life, different types of films,
the types of stories and things we get to share. Yeah, that's honestly to me is that's the best part. That's my favorite part of this. Is it's such a broad spectrum of art and stories that are being shared. Wildly different genres and mediums that the stories are being told through. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. You should really keep an eye out for the exact date, but it will be December before Christmas. Don't worry. We don't want to step on your holiday, but it'll be, mid festivity, but it'll be fun. You get to join us from the comfort of your home or invite some friends over, watch it on the big screen as we unveil the lineup that we are excited to share with you at Movie Toast.
Get some good stuff. That's right. But say you're not a filmmaker, you don't want to do that. You don't want to follow us on the socials. Maybe you like the show. Maybe you don't like the show. Maybe you could let us know how you feel about the show, how we can improve it, and maybe what you like. If you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us, or even right here on our YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, we'd love to hear back from y'all.
Yes, greatly appreciate it. And say you can't do any of that. You're already here. You're in. You just want to enjoy some reviews, some movie talk, then all we can ask is that you please stay toasty.
Stay toasty.
I'm the Dennis, they're the kings of the real. Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Adam's bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deep in the Wolverine's claws. Like that's Marvel, DC, they know them all by heart. Breaking down the plot, tearing every scene apart. They got the juice like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot like a John Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat like the climax of a Tarzan flick.
Bringing the heat.
Oh man, I've had that song stuck in my head all week. I don't know why. That and the review song. Oh man, I've been listening to the audiobook of Siskel and Ebert, and I just finished it, and by God, it's fantastic. I learned so much about them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pioneers of this stuff. But two things really struck home with me. They talked about their most scathing review movie yet, and I kind of chuckled because it was written by one of my teachers and possibly one of Val's, Seth Winston. I'm like, I think that sounds familiar. If that's a movie starring Tony Danza, and they're like starring Tony, I'm like, oh wow, that's quite the honor. But what I really wanted to talk about with you was after even Ebert and Roper had ended, they still kept that show alive, but they couldn't use the thumbs up, thumbs down, and they brought in some fresh blood. And you'll never guess what type of system they used, Dennis.
Oh my fucking God. No way.
What meant?
No way.
Don't see it, rent it, or see it in the theater with a certain color scheme. I wonder, man. I'm like, wow, man, how original, man. I thought I knew a guy who invented that system.
Oh,
it was great.
That's too fucking funny. I loved that so fucking much. But I'm not gonna harp too hard because I'm just gonna go take my little badge and I'm gonna go see a movie. Actually,
hey, we've done it. We've flaunted some badges before and got into things, now. Dennis. Come on.
Yes.
The prophecies have come into life. I
gotta follow up. I got to follow up on the screening for next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure we're getting into that since it's nice that they've got one in Burbank this time instead of going all
right
the way
down the road, man.
Fuck yeah. I'm
missed the 16.
You'll have to find out. Join us next time to hear what that might be, folks.
A little movie called Azrael.
Okay, never mind. It won't be a surprise.
But who's in it? What's it about? I don't know. You can IMDb it, or listen to episode 168. You can time travel back. Listen to episode 198 of Movie Toast News and Reviews in roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks.
There you go.
If you're watching today. Thank you all very much. Anything you want to say before we wrap this bitch up?
No, I think that does it. I'm ready to find out how my LA Rams did. So hopefully they won. But no, I that was got some solid flicks in there. It was a good high slice week here. I like that. A lot of good reviews, good positive things.
Yeah.
So please,
if y'all have watched any of these, let us know if you agree or disagree with us.
Yeah,
please. We'd love to hear your take. All right.
I think that does for me. Thanks, folks.
Cool.
Until next time, Adam.
We've already said it.